Hello, 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 beautiful people. How
Hello,
is everyone? Tonight we have another speaker coming at you, and her name is.
Monique Hamilton in the
All
building.
right, tell us a little about yourself, Monique.
Sure. Um, Honestly, I'm a mother. I'm a woman of God. I'm passionate about serving God. I'm passionate about serving His people, and I'm just excited to be on this chat today with you, Santisa. I'm excited about the Esther experience. This is our second one, and I mean, it's the time is just going by so fast, but God is just doing so much, and He's just being God and God all by Himself. So I'm just excited about this whole experience.
Awesome. So, as you know, or you may not know this, maybe your first time tuning in, my name is Santisa. I am the owner of Santisa Speaks Life Coaching. And tonight we are here to talk all things Esther. This month, during Women's History Month, I feel like why not introduce each and every speaker every week because it's Women's History Month and we making history every day. Am I right?
That's right.
So tonight, as she said, she is Monique. She is the owner of the Lux event space. I don't think she said that, and I always got to shout my girl out because it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay. If you don't know about it, look it up, book it, just not April 6th, but any other day. Go ahead and find a spot and book your spot. And so tonight we're just going to talk about first, Monique. My first question is what do you feel like the impact of the last Esther experience had on you?
That's a good question. She went right into it. Okay, we there. Let's go. So, the interesting part about the last one that we did was God was just wanting me to go deeper with Him, because you know how sometimes it can get stale, we can be surface level, but when
Girl,
God
yes.
deeper, you have to become vulnerable. That means you have to really open yourself up and just surrender, and just give Him full control. And
Mhm.
from that time, He's been just allowing me to just say, okay, do you trust me? Are you ready? And I'm thankful that He's put my heart in a position just to say yes. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to just, you want to do all these things that God is telling you to do, but just to be authentic
Yeah.
myself, just living who He's called for me to be. And so as I was just thinking about the whole experience, God showed me a candle. And you know how with the candle, it's like you can buy the most beautiful candle from Bath and Body, and we know it smell good, right? But at the end of the day, what good is that candle if it's just sitting on a shelf and it's not doing anything? You know,
Come on. That's
Oh,
good.
there's so much inside that candle. There's oil on the inside of that candle, but the only way for that oil to manifest, it has to burn. And so God has put me in a place where He like, you can't just sit on a shelf. You can't continue just to sit on a shelf. I've invested too much in you. There's too much on the inside of you. And
Come
so I'm
on.
at where I'm just like, okay, Lord, let's go. I have to let my light shine to give other people the courage to release and let their light shine. And and,
Yeah.
and so that's really what it's been for me, is just me relinquishing full control and just letting God have His way. And I'm just letting Him light my fire at this point. And so I'm excited. I'm
Now
excited.
that's fire. That's fire. So then my other question would be first of all, like I love that you use the candle analogy. Like that's what the Lord brought to you because what He said is that this time we will give out fire.
Mm,
That's literally what he told me when we came together. He's like, "That's what we're going to do. You're going to give out fire." And it's like at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, "Whoa, what does that mean?" Like some people hear something from the Lord and some prophetic, and they get excited. Me,
yeah,
I'm looking in the scriptures. I need to see what does it mean. I need to know what it means.
absolutely.
I need to understand it.
Yeah.
Because what am I saying yes to, Lord? And
Yes.
so, with that in mind, what do you feel the Lord is downloading in you as you're going to speak at this Esther experience?
So what He gave me was to talk about vulnerability. And that's a word that people get uncomfortable with. It's like, oh, I don't know if I want to go there, because it's like we'll give people only so much because we want them to only see so much of us, because it's like, I don't know if I can trust you. I don't
Mm.
for this. But at the end of the day, God is like, it's not for you to focus on the creation. You have to focus on the creator. I put in you what you need to release. So you can't be worried about who's in the room or what they're going to say, what they're going to think. No, we're at a time where we have to be vulnerable as women, because that
Yeah.
vulnerability, it's a release for us to just be
Mm.
ourselves, to be authentic. But not only that, with vulnerability, freedom takes place every single time. Liberty takes place anytime vulnerability shows up in the room. And
Yeah.
remember when um you remember when I had my grand opening and you came, and I think we had only known each other for 2 months at the time.
Right.
But after I had opened my event space, of course, in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna have these birthday parties and weddings and all these different events, and it's been beautiful. But 3 months after I had got in that place, the Lord said, healing is supposed to take place here. And so I remember you told me, you said, Monique, what street are you on? And I'm on Liberty. Liberty's supposed to take place. And so I'm excited about the Esther experience, because that's exactly where it's going to be at. And when I tell you Liberty is going to take place, why? Because vulnerability is going to show up in the room,
Come
because
on.
allowing ourselves to release. And I just see God just doing some amazing things at this Esther experience. So I'm super excited. But I'm going to be talking about vulnerability and what that means, what that looks like for us as women.
So what I hear, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the last Esther experience, he kind of opened you up to learn about surrendering to becoming vulnerable. And now he's calling you forward to now share the revelation that you've become in the process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. That is everything that Santisa Speak stands for. Is
Yeah.
becoming the revelation, because I think I even made a post earlier today or yesterday, like, we can have all the head knowledge,
Mhm.
but without revelation and becoming the revelation, then we just big headed, we just know a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
But
mean, it's
what impact does it have?
exactly. And just speaking of head though, Santisa, like I know for me, I was the type of person, and still I'm the Lord is dealing with me on being stuck in my head so much, to where it's like we want to control every little thing. But it's like when you stuck in your head, you're not really allowing God to be God.
Yeah.
Still trying to control, you still trying to keep your hands on things. But that's what vulnerability looks like, when you can open up and say, God, I know you got me. I know I
Mm.
instead of trying to control as women, we do more damage control by being controlling. And it's time for us to release. It's time for us to release. And so, like I said, from that last time, the Lord's been dealing with me, but he's been allowing me to be more vulnerable. And I can see that liberty in my life, in my children's life, and everybody that's connected to me, because I'm giving them that freedom as I continue to be authentic in my own skin.
Mm. That's really good. So as I heard you talking about control, like us wanting to control the outcome, control the narrative, control. I remember the Lord gave me a revelation how we can be like Esther and allow our influence to shift the nation, like save the people, or we could become like Jezebel, wanting to manipulate our way through life.
True story. Yeah.
And it's a very fine line because both had influence. One just did it to the glory unto God,
Yeah.
and the other was unto self, wanting to control what it could look like, wanting to be in control, wanting to lead, wanting to do what they wanted to do. And it's like, man, if women grabbed a hold of the reality of their fullness of their identity outside of being a wife and a mom and even a friend to other people, but grab a hold of the truth of who they are, imagine the influence they would have in the realms in which the Lord has called them to operate.
Absolutely.
Imagine the freedom one would have.
Yeah,
as they authentically decide to simply show up as themselves, where they don't have to manipulate the atmospheres that they're in, but they are content in who they are so others can be content in who they are.
absolutely. There it is right there. And if you
That
think
was
of
good.
Esther, she was vulnerable. I mean, like back then you could get killed trying to go before the king without being summoned, but she had to be vulnerable to have the
Yeah.
to even go before the king, to open up her mouth and do what she was called to do. It takes
Mm.
ability for us to have the courage that we need to open up our mouth and be who God has called for us to be, regardless of who's in the room, regardless of the situation.
And I think about the last Esther experience, how when we opened up
Hmm.
and Lady D opened us up with introducing ourselves. And literally from the beginning, women opened up and was like, look, this is what I have going on and this is why I'm here.
Yeah,
Like to this day, I'm still in awe
yeah,
that the atmosphere that the Lord allowed us to partner with him in such a way that women felt free enough to talk about some of the darkest, saddest moments in their lives. You know,
yeah,
even like mothers and daughters in the room who haven't really talked, but this event brought them together. You
yeah,
know, like women who lead in church and yet feel unseen. And
yes,
so it's like for me, I'm just in awe that the Lord allows us to partner with him in such a way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we were so vulnerable in that room, but that vulnerability brought freedom. It brought liberty, and it's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again, and it's
Yes,
gonna happen.
ma'am.
That's why you got to get in the room, because liberty's about to take place. Come on,
So
you got.
now I have a question. What would you say to the woman who's afraid of being vulnerable? Like, speak to the woman that's like, I know I should be in the room, or I think I should be in the room, but what if so and so is there? Or what if they find out my deep, dark secret? What if, that woman that's on the fence because she hears this vulnerability that we talk about, but it's unfamiliar? What would you say to that woman?
Just to make it simple, get out of your head. Get out of your head and release. Get out of your head and release. Don't focus on the creation. Focus on the creator, because he's the one that has you.
Come
He's got
on.
you covered. He's got you covered. So many times as women, we want everything to be cookie cutter or so perfect, but God will perfect everything that concerns us. He already knows. So I would
Yeah.
say to her, get out of your head and show up for yourself. This is for you. This is for you. And I promise you, like, whatever you asking God to do, He's gonna show up, show out, and then some. Because
Yeah.
the way that we've labored for this event, like, God is gonna show up and do some amazing things, Santisa. I am just so excited. I am so ready. Like, the countdown begins. Well, we got 2 weeks, and it'll be,
Right. That's wild. That
yeah,
is literally what, 15 days?
yeah, literally, yeah.
15 days.
But the good thing is, you still got time. So if you listening to this live, it is not by accident. I promise you. And I would just encourage you, get out of your head, get on the website, get your ticket, and get in the room. And I,
Yes.
like, your life is gonna be changed. Everything's gonna be different. Everything.
Yeah, that's good. And it's like, so let me not forget to mention, right now we even have a giveaway happening. So if it's
Ah,
like if you go to Santisa Speaks Life Coach on Facebook or Instagram, either one works. And there's a giveaway where someone actually donated a ticket
okay.
because they were in the room last time. And this is how much they believed in it. Like, I want to help a woman get into the room. So if finance is holding you back, I would say go on there. You know what I'm saying? Enter your name in because what's the worst that can happen?
Absolutely.
And so I just encourage you. If finance is what's holding you back, one, ask the one who created you, who gave you the inkling to be in the room for the finances, because he provides. But two, enter the giveaway because it's still an opportunity where your name can be pulled.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to throw that out there before we got off here. But now my question is, do you have any questions for me?
I would just say, for the woman who is just for the woman who showed up the last time and they thought it was amazing, and she's thinking like, well, what's so different about this one? Like, why go back? Like, what am I going back for? What is so different about this Esther experience from the last one?
Good question. Because that's what I asked the Lord when He said, "Do it again." But first, He took me to the Word, and He said, "Do you not remember that Esther went through 12 months? It was 12 months, 6 months of one thing, and then 6 months of another thing of the purification." So that's when it came to me. Oh, this is about a journey of purification. And purification isn't about the purity culture that we're kind of taught. It's about the cleansing of the Holy Spirit and becoming into oneness with Him and identity and understanding who we are and who we're called for. Like everybody likes to quote as women, for such a time as this, right? So, what is your for such a time as this? What is yours?
Good.
So, why would you be in the room? Is because I know for a fact what's happened in the speakers has been life changing. Even like the testimony of one already being delivered from something. Like we haven't gotten a room and there's already reports of deliverance happening. I think about the fact that the Lord has revealed the event to people who aren't even planning to come, who are just like, I know the Lord is going to meet y'all there. So there's people partnering with us
Yeah.
in prayer for the event. So why would you come to the room? I will be cliche and say, why not? But honestly, it's because you're supposed to be in the room. It's
Yeah.
because he's started to work 6 months ago, and now there's a fresh outpouring, there's a fresh deposit that's coming just for you and the call on your life and what you're called to. So
Yes.
why not finish the work that you started?
That's good.
That
That's
that would be why you should be in the
yeah.
room, because you want to finish the work that he started in you. You
That's
want
it.
the fresh revelation of vulnerability, because
Yeah.
we touched on it, but then there was a wall that went up. Well, we're tearing down that wall this time.
It.
We're not leaving with the wall this time.
Mhm.
You know, we spoke about how traumatic the story of Esther is. Well, guess what? A whole psychologist is coming into the room. We're going to talk about trauma. We're going to unpack that. Well, you
Yeah.
had Elise who led worship last time. Well, guess what? The Lord's done a work in her. So now she's speaking from a place of being renewed and found. And he already had started a work 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So why would you be in the room? The real question is, why would you have the Lord tell you to go to a room and not show up?
That's good. That's
Because
good.
the inkling came from him long before we went live, long before we planned it together. I know for a fact, just because of the response I'm getting from women. Like a woman was commenting earlier, like she's like, I bought my ticket. This is confirmation for what the Lord is doing to me.
Mhm.
What? She
Okay.
wasn't in the room last time, and yet the Lord is still revealing.
Yes.
So why not go where the Lord tells you to go? Is it your first such a time as this moment?
Mm.
And what are you willing to sacrifice? So that would be my answer for the woman that's wondering, why should she?
I
Is
love it.
because I know even myself, I've been changed. There's still layers I'm unpacking from October. Surely, surely the Lord is still revealing.
Yes. We are on the same page. He is. There's so much more, and I'm so ready. So ready.
Me too. And it's like it's wild because I don't know fully what's gonna happen, right? But what I do know is a couple of things he's spoken to. He's like, there's gonna be a woman that recently experienced a trauma. She's gonna get deliverance there. There's gonna be a woman who's dealing with becoming vulnerable because she's afraid of being hurt by other women. She's going to be delivered there. There's going to be women who knows there's a call in their life, and because of what we're going to unpack and
Yeah.
release
Yes.
and surrender, she's going to go out and do all that the Lord called us to do. Not because she necessarily was at Esther experience, but because she went where the Lord told her to go, because she obeyed the voice of the Lord.
Yes. That
Because
part.
when he can trust you with little, he gives you much. Like I think we forget about that. kingdom principle, and we don't want to go through the process. And that's the beauty of Esther. She went through the process.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, any other questions for me?
That's it. I'm just ready. I'm excited, Santisa. So
I am
excited.
too. And then I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna tell y'all about the food real quick before we go. I'm excited about the food. I already told y'all I had the vegans covered, but we're bringing back Chef from last time. And this time he's adding a little greens to the menu. Okay, we're getting a little greens with our brunch and our French toast. Baby, even the food. Like when I say the Lord had me be intentional about every aspect of this, there's not no one that is touching this event that is not filtered through the hands of the Lord. This is God's event, and I'm just honored that He wants us to partner with Him. So
Absolutely.
again, Saturday, April the 6th, 10 a.m., the Lux Event Space. Tickets are required. There will not be any tickets sold at the door. The link is in my bio on every platform for purchase. Feel free to message any one of the speakers that has been revealed. We do have one more coming up next week that we will be revealing. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for what the Lord is doing first and foremost in us, because like I don't even know the fullness of what each speaker is bringing, but the glimpses that I've been able to get a hold of, I'm just like, I can't wait. Like I can't wait. Even though I'm a speaker, baby, I'm coming to receive. I'm coming to be delivered. I'm coming to be set free. Ain't no
Absolutely.
way I'm gonna be in a room and not get out of the Lord has for me.
Okay. Come on with it.
So yeah, so thank you all for tuning in, and we see you in what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Peace.
Peace out.